Hello, welcome to the Ancient Greece podcast. Today I am with my partner Juliana, and she's gonna to give us some context about the ostracism.
We have like some thing to say about it. Like it was horrible because the ostracism was basically a form of punishment imposed on citizens that were suspected of exercising excessive power and restricting power liberty. And the law was instituted in Athens as a measure to prevent the formation of new tyranny, a popular self-defense mechanism. The citizens command to ostracism when sentenced to exile for 10 years of permanently. And the social ostracism was basically the same, but they uh, removed an individual from social activities and that were normal there. And now we are with Angel, that he's an expert of the studies in the ancient Greece, and he is going to explain some real cases of ostracism.
Hi, Juliana. Thanks. And yeah, there was really two important cases of ostracism that happened in the past Athens. The first one of them is the case of Jantipo. That Jantipo was the father of the great renowned Pericles of Athens. I think that every one of you knows who he was. And this was one of the first people recorded to be ostracized. And this event occurred in the 484 before Christ. And the reason to why it is possible attribute that he was ostracized, it is because at that time Jantipo was against the idea put forward by Miltiades, another politician. But once this politician was defeated on these ideas, he assaulted them and like start to proposing them. So it is explained that the people and town of that moment were still against the ideas proposed by Miltiades and Jantipo and considered the exile like a right decision to put that end on it. And another case was the case of Aristides. Aristides was a man known under the nickname of the Judge because he was a really judge man and an honest man, and he was involved in a lot of important events on the politics of the time. And the main reason of why he was ostracized, it is proposed that it was because he was against Themistocles, that was another politician of the time. And it is theorized that Themistocles used bad propaganda to convince the town of that time that Aristides was a bad man. So all of them get reunite and decide to, you know, exile this right person. So this is like a bad example that maybe the ostracism wasn't a good idea to apply. I don't know.
Well, thank you, Angel. Also we are with Pedro, who is gonna tell us about his opinion about applying ostracism today. So Pedro, tell us about it.
Of course, Geraldine. So thanks. And about my position, I strongly believe that ostracism in the current world wouldn't work because of a long list of reasons, you know? For example, we will never have guarantees of political opposition stigmatization by the government in position. So surely in this case, we will be ruled by a rose hegemonic system and taking the leaders being kicked out of the civilization example, it would be extremely harmful for the community. Not only because the non-participative condition of people that can improve some aspects in the society in the in substantial ways, like Jantipo and Aristides, but also about the moral impact that the people um, will be involved in. And it is a fact that there are people in the society that are dangerous and that probably deserve to be banished. But we are not ready to take this decision as community and as humans that make mistakes. And, we are not ready for this.
Okay, thank you, Pedro. But just as there are people against applying ostracism today, like you, There are people who say that it will be something positive for society, as long as it is not taken to an extreme. Just as it considered in ancient Greece in a vote to exile anyone who was considered bad or dangerous to society, regardless of their society level. It will be applied today for those like those people like corrupt politicians, racists, or simply dangerous people who don't deserve to be in certain society. All this need proper regulation and normalization. So there are these two positions. So please write us in the comments if you think it will be a good or a bad thing to the authority practice in ancient Greece. With this, we could end today's podcast. So tell us how you thought of today's chapter, and thank you all for listening to us.